Welcome to Lecture 7.4, Other Considerations with regard to ROS topics, of course. ROS topics have hardly been exhausted, and this will remain true even after we consider a few more aspects of special note in this lecture. The ROS message command, or ROS MSG. The ROS MSG command comes with the ROS bash package already installed in a previous lecture. If you haven't installed this, though, go ahead and do so now. It allows us to explore which messages are described and their descriptions. As always, we need to navigate to our workspace. So first, if you're not already there, change directories to your workspace. Then source it. Of course, we've got to source our workspace. The show option lists message descriptions. Even our complex custom definition can be listed in this way. So, ROS message show complex. Complex is the custom message description that we made. So, if we stick that in there with the ROS message command, then we'll see. So I have the one from the textbook, Rico Topics Complex, and then the one that we made together, My Topics Complex. So it's going to find everyone that's named complex, and it will list out what its message definition is, or description is, I should say. This is how we could see the message description of a geometry messages message point. So geometry is a package that helps us describe what's going on in the world in three-dimensional space. And one of the message types that are included in the geometry package is the point. So we could ROS message show geometry messages point. And we see that the description is we have three floating point, 64-bit floating point numbers, X, Y, and Z, that describe a point. The package option lets us list those messages defined in a given package. So ROS message package My Topics, which is of course the package that we created together. For the we will see the one custom message description that we have created, complex. For the TF2 messages package, which groups the error and transform messages of the TF2 ROS package, several message definitions are provided. So ROS message package TF2 messages. So we see the different transform messages, and then we see the essentially the error messages there. So to list everything in a package, the ones that we pull off the servers, the remote servers, the ones that are publicly available, and then the ones that we've created locally as well can be listed in this way. The list option lists all messages available to ROS. ROS message list will list all of them, and this is rather long depending on how many packages you have installed in your workspace, but that's one of the possibilities there. It's kind of interesting to see, so I recommend doing that and just scrolling through and seeing what messages there are. Publishing and subscribing in the same node. Okay, it's another consideration with topics. Why not? This is actually rather common. Consider the example, robotics book code Rico Topics doubler.py, which is included in the textbook code repository, which is listed in figure 7.5. This node, we'll scroll to it in a second, this node subscribes to topic number, multiplies the received message.data by 2, and publishes the result to topic doubled. Okay, so it takes in a subscribed to message, and it then publishes a message of its own. So the usual things here. Initialize the node, bring in your packages. You have to have a callback. So we'll have a subscriber call and then a publisher call. So we'll subscribe to number and we'll publish to doubled. Okay. The callback function, what it does is it takes a message that is coming back, which is of course a number. Okay. It takes the data from it and multiplies it by 2. So message.data multiplied by 2, and publishes the doubled variable, which is an int32 that has a field data that is defined to be twice the int32 that came in from the message that came in from what we subscribed to. And then we publish that doubled variable, and the publish will go to the doubled topic, and that's kind of the basics of how to do it. Notice that we do the publishing inside the callback, and that's because while previously we have published at some set rate, right, some set interval. In this case, we don't necessarily want to do that because we won't necessarily have updated our number, and so we don't want to just keep doing the publishing of the doubled number until a new number has been published. So what this does is, as soon as a new number is published, a doubled will follow in its footsteps immediately. So, and then it'll wait till the next number is published, and then it'll publish a doubled again. So this is a more efficient way of doing it, for one thing. It's also usually the desired behavior as well. And then we have our usual rospy.spin at the end, just to keep this node open. So that is how to do publishing and subscribing in the same node. It's really not surprising, but the one little caveat that's of a particular interest is the publish inside the callback. Yeah, so otherwise, using the ROS message command up here was one thing I wanted to cover, and then also publishing and subscribing in the same node. So that's all we've got for ROS topics, and we'll now move on to the next chapter.